The biggest question on everybody's mind is Bitcoin topping out, getting ready for a bearish reversal, or is it simply taking a breather, taking a break, getting ready for bullish continuation? In this video, I will show you the one singular indicator that has historically been so consistent in giving us the answer of Bitcoin's next move. What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming by Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe on the way in and let's jump into the video. Here it is. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be so dramatic. Bitcoin's down like not even 10% since a swing high on August 17th, 10 days ago. Altcoins suffering a little bit more, but that's crypto. That's pretty much what always happens. So really, this move on Bitcoin that's happening currently, really not that big of a deal. Even 20% to the downside, not that big of a deal either. And we talked about that in another video. But in this video, the indicator I want to break down for you, I want to talk about is this. It is the crypto ocean that you see on the screen. This is just a histogram. This is basically representation of the 50-day moving average. And that's what it looks like. And I want to dig into that, and I want to look at separate cycles of Bitcoin and how consistent this indicator is. Now, this is just a moving average, an average of closing price of Bitcoin across the previous 50 days. And it's just that, a moving average that shows us the direction, the momentum, the trajectory of Bitcoin. Really, the basics of the 50-day moving average are will Bitcoin see support at this area, or will it see resistance? That's mainly, besides momentum and just the illustration of momentum, that is what many people use the 50-day moving average for. It's a support area. So what we've seen on Bitcoin is Bitcoin consistently revisits that area, whether kind of cruising to the downside and breaking below it, right? And I'm going to dig into this to really show you a picture. And when I say cruising below it, what I'm looking at is, here's a bear market back in 2014. You can see Bitcoin cruising below it, overextended below it, getting pulled back to it, right? And in an uptrend, overextension above it and getting pulled back to it. Bitcoin, this is just my mind. It's just like a dolphin in and out of the water. And it's just a matter of how often is it above and jumping out of the water, and how often is it below? And when we see what Bitcoin has been doing, it gives us our answer of what momentum looks like. So here we go. Here's a 2013 swing high. That's a bull market high. And now this is the perfect representation going into the bear market of Bitcoin in a bear market. It's consistently Bitcoin, the dolphin, below the 50-day moving average with resistance at the 50-day moving average. You see the resistance. It's having trouble even getting a breath of fresh air above, right? And it's just continually putting in lower highs in the bear market. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Finally, we have kind of this average consolidation at the bottom of the bear market in 2015. You can see it spends 50% above, 50% below the 50-day moving average. It's a really nice representation of healthy consolidation for Bitcoin. So it's kind of this neutral environment for Bitcoin. It's not a bear market, right? But it's also not the bull market. So inverse of the bull market back then, we had the 2016 halving. We have Bitcoin entering into the bull market, right? Now this Fibonacci retracement right here, I just have it charted there. It's around $1,000 to $780. That's the swing high, bull market high to bear market low, Fibonacci retracement, the 618 to 786. It's the bull market doors for Bitcoin back then. And you can see when Bitcoin began just really spending a lot of time above the 50-day moving average here, the ocean, you can see that is when it broke above and through the bull market doors, that Fibonacci retracement, and continued to, right? Continue just to trade above it. The dolphin spending most of the time out of the water. What a cheesy illustration, but I can't get the picture out of my mind. Bitcoin is a dolphin. So this is what we're looking at now. If we go to the charts today, right? The picture is so similar. And if we look at the 2017 high, the bull market high to the 2018 low, we see the same exact thing. Bitcoin struggling to get a fresh breath of air above the 50-day moving average, finally just making its way to the bear market low. And here's that healthy consolidation phase before breaking back out of that area. And now we are where we are. the 2020 halving, Bitcoin currently above the 50-day moving average. Here is this Fibonacci retracement right around $16,000 to $13,000, the bull market doors, Bitcoin potentially getting ready to enter that area. And one thing I want to note is this. When Bitcoin actually tested that Fibonacci bull market doors for the first time last summer, you had a very similar thing happen prior to the last halving in 2016. Bitcoin tested that Fibonacci bull market doors before coming back down and eventually breaking through. And that was pre-2016 halving. This happened a lot quicker this time around, but pre-2020 halving, Bitcoin made a run for it. It just failed, right? And then we kind of saw a downtrend similar to back then. So now here we are, and we're questioning what is Bitcoin's next move. And the best indicator for us lies on this moving average chart, the 50-day moving average, because what everybody wants right now is simple. It's bullish continuation to the upside. Whether or not you're a person that can deal with these 10%, 20%, 30% swing lows, right? These downtrends, these dips for Bitcoin, that's a different ball game, right? That's like a whole different video, whether or not you can deal with them. Hopefully you can, because they happen all the time. And they happen in bull markets. There's the last bull market going into the 2017 bull market high. But you can just see these dips are very commonplace for Bitcoin. And one thing I want to note is this. Even in an uptrend, right? Even when Bitcoin is getting ready to break through the bull market doors, right? And we're talking 2017 going into 2017 bull market, you can see Bitcoin on this chart falls below the 50-day moving average. It does happen. The question is whether or not it stays below. And the question is whether or not there's resistance at that 50-day moving average for continuation to the downside. That is a bear market type of scenario, or even just a short-term, mid-term bear move for Bitcoin. The key in an upward trend, if we're going to be entering the bull market, if we're going to be seeing Bitcoin going to $100,000, the key isn't really whether or not Bitcoin falls below the 50-day moving average. It's whether or not it gets back above it and starts seeing support above it, right? These wicks and these huge moves below very quickly, they're normal for Bitcoin. It's something I think we can definitely anticipate we will continue to see. So right now, if we zoom in on the chart now, and we have our ocean pretty much just below us, Bitcoin, we know, was just overextended a bit from that 50-day moving average. We're talking about 30%. When we get 30% overextension above or even below, we always look for a throwback or a pullback to that 50-day moving average. So it really acts as gravity for Bitcoin, and it's healthy and it's good. What we want to see now is support, and that support right now is right around that $10,700 area. Now, Bitcoin can fall below the 50-day moving average once again. The question is, do we see resistance below that area if it happens? And if we go zoom in on these charts, here's a daily chart zoomed in, we have some things going on, right? We have this rising channel of sorts that we've been talking about. Bitcoin broke through the lower trend line. We're like 4 or 5% from the 50-day moving average right now. So don't get all worried and say, oh man, we're about to just jump right back into that ocean. What's going to happen? If we do, it's okay, right? The question is whether or not Bitcoin struggles to get back above it in the days or weeks that follow. And that is for another video. That is why we watch these things. Those are the indicators we look out for, the confirmations we look out for. If you notice now, I want to talk about this. We had a similar rising channel back in May into June that Bitcoin, broke to the downside, right? This lower trend line broke. Bitcoin was actually below the 50-day moving average, struggled a little bit, but very, very tight consolidation here for Bitcoin before breaking back above the 50-day moving average. That is a scenario we want to see if Bitcoin falls below the 50-day moving average. And you can see this pattern didn't play out. We didn't hit a target to the downside in the 8,000s. It didn't, right? So that's kind of a busted rising channel. Bitcoin was very bullish through it. The same thing could happen for Bitcoin right now as we break through this lower trend line. But again, we are in this 3 or 4 to 5% area away from the 50-day moving average being tested. And in the coming hours, the days, whatever it is, this is what we watch for. Will we get a break back above this lower trend line? And what happens when Bitcoin approaches this area? Remember, this channel, the rising channel breakout target is right around $10,000. There's a lot of things happening all in this area. The 50-day moving average. This green line right here is the neckline of a very long-term inverse head and shoulders we've been tracking. We have this is a 618 of a Fibonacci retracement that we're looking at. That is the swing high last summer to our March swing low. There's a lot of confluence and confluence support all down to $10,000. So even coming down below the 50-day moving average, not a big deal, but it's the biggest indicator to watch to see how Bitcoin really operates above or below the 50-day moving average. It's the best indicator to watch for. We've been covering it on this channel for years. Again, if you zoom out on the charts, you get a really nice picture of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just looks very healthy. Hit the like button if you think Bitcoin looks like a healthy dolphin above this ocean of crypto charts. Those are my thoughts today. I want to do a quick video for you. Appreciate you cruising by. If you're here not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like on the way out. It means a lot. And I will see you in the next video. God bless.